Molly. You know what? She can't use her mollies if she's not alive. This is kind of, I feel like, the strategy that EDG.
We've got EDG on defense. We've got Billy Billy on attack. EDG,
really
one away.
We're gonna be hyper aggressive.
Plum Bum with the prime. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the prime. Appreciate that.
Early damage there in exchange with Smoggy to start things out. The Ghost and
Nice shot, dudes. Jesus.
well, has absolutely annihilated Smoggy through the turret as well. Good night, my friends. We'll see you in round number 2. There's the rest of the team. We're looking towards B, but now heading towards this A site.
These guys are just insane at pistols.
You know, very few players have the guts to pull out a sheriff on the pistol round. Neff just making some magic happen here. And unfortunately, it feels like EDG are just kind of crumbling under the pressure here.
Whoa.
No, what are you doing? That was questionable. Trying to use the enemy's cove to his advantage, but he does get shut down. Now he's left Chichu in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah.
The spike,
I
interestingly,
mean, imagine he owned
hasn't
everyone.
been planted yet.
Well, Kang didn't have to disrupt that, and the fact he's still got 1 in that position as well. Slightly ridiculous. The shock darts could take down Chichu at this point. Just 15 HP, and K-Knight
3-0 on the
just about has
pistols.
the angle onto him there. Looked a little bit risky, but low HP, and it's enough to win the round out. BLG, they win the pistol yet again.
Frog is silly with the tier 1.
Pistol
Thank you so much for the
wasn't
13
enough
months.
to
Thank you,
win the
thank
map.
you.
And in fact, double pistol, they only got 8 rounds total. So, you know, we need to see the gun rounds really to properly pass judgment, but it is still a
Yeah,
decent
same thing,
start.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, look,
He
winning
pulled
pistol
a
rounds is
bulldog at one
generally a
point here.
decent
Okay,
indicator,
just gets the
but
martial out.
You need more than that. It's not enough to just win those pistols. So see how much they can pivot off of that. Damn! All right, KK nearly snipes YZ out of existence. Luckily for YZ,
They're just gonna
still
dodge him?
manages to get out with his life. I do love
That's
that we've got
that's
both
pure
of them playing with
respect.
the marshals here, trying
They
to
see
take
them.
long
They see the
range
marshal. They try
back.
dodge it.
Nobody who needs range. He's getting up
Like a
close
pretty
and
nice shot
personal.
here. Now what do they do? Call back over
That's
towards A.
slightly
Let's go.
terrifying, and Levius has found Kang, so weapon upgrade removed from the side of EDG. Billy, they should be looking pretty set now in this one. Got Chichu sneaking up towards B, but yeah, it's being watched for now by K-Knight. He's going to be able to take that down. Unless things become absolutely ridiculous, this is going to be a second round here for BLG. And they're doing it pretty well as well. I love the read in this round.
Very
You know,
nice.
They push aggressive. I mean, YC is very lucky not to
A lot of
have
use of the
been
regen armors
taken
there.
out immediately. The updraft up, and Kang was very close. But overall, it's a good round.
Yeah, I mean, flawless, right? Coming through that,
What a
they,
nice
look,
shot.
they took a lot of damage in that round, but nothing that could, like, completely clean them up, which is beautiful in and of itself, right? We get another situation where they get to come through with the full bonus, but we've seen what happens when EDG get their guns in hand. Even when BLG have the full bonus at their disposal, EDG very often still come out on top of it. So how do they respond now to what BLG have been laying down? It's been 2 rounds of A hits. Now there's a bit of a posture over towards B, but a lot of information garnered early on could cause some crazy rotations. And spotting YZ on A, that could really confuse the situation, because when does your jet lurk?
Yeah, but that's exactly what's happening. Has been some presence spotted over towards B as well. But right now, it's still got 3 EDG defenders over towards the A site. Spike is making its way back over here. I feel like that's the wrong decision for BLG to try and go for. The KO nade comes on in, and yeah, they're committing Billy to this A hit. They're walking in towards the numbers.
Dude,
They're walking in
look at
towards
that,
Kang,
timing the double
who
swing.
does
That's
die.
nice from
Jenny
them.
finds 1 before being taken out himself. That was just nobody up against the storm, but Lucius swings the gun at just the
Oh
wrong
boy, everyone's
time.
done it.
YZ is finally there for a trade, and Neff on the lark over towards B.
Tell you what though, the Observer kind of owned this.
Seconds, that's enough for that rotation round. Pichu going to be aware of this.
Well, it's an
Might
incredible
be.
start for Billy.
I'm amazed that Billy have come out on
This is
top of
truly a
this. Like,
series.
everything-
Man, why does the beginning
everything
of
was
all of these
falling on
maps
its
just
head.
look like
They were
absolute chaos every time?
kind of
This wasn't too bad in
making
comparison
weird
to the
decisions.
Fracture.
So you've got your jet lurk, I suppose. And once YZ gets spotted out, they rotate towards him. So they put themselves in such a dangerous spot, but they win those battles. Now, okay, Chichu gets one butt position known, so he'll just get shot in the back, perfectly executed there on the ending. But for Billy to have won that altercation towards that A site and done so in such a heavy-handed manner is a little bit insane. And it does kind of speak to potentially some misplays here from EDG. You know, they opt to go for, as we said, that very aggressive positioning, trying to take the fight, potentially looking to try and get in behind Billy. But Billy then can split themselves off a little bit. One goes into a higher ground position. A couple of the others head into that
He really wants to buy this Bulldog.
And you've now wrapped around
A couple of rounds where he's
possible for them
been
to
tempted.
defend the site.
Kind of nice with the wall updraft. Philly blocks it. He can get there early.
He's making the Sheriff work, at the very least. Finds
I mean, there's no
kill.
vision there.
There is a response, though, from BLG. That's Smoggy falling on this site, and nobody's going to follow suit. So, advantage now for the attack.
Wonder if he sees him here because of the wave.
Should be aware of this flank as well, but Jenny
Nice shot.
been able to find the pick.
Dude,
Kang
my observer is insanely switched on right now.
Here, but... Oh, Chichu? Okay. Thank God, it's just Jenny. 1v2, these players are isolated, but again, being wrapped back upon, and
nicely
YD
done.
just absolutely nailed him. It's a 4-0 start.
Dude, I wonder if we get the Harbor
So much
replay here, if you
better
can see him on the
from
minimap or not.
BLG, especially on the attack.
Man, he had the headshot angle, and the fact that YZ still manages to win that 1v1 is a little bit nasty. I call it a 1v1 because there was a second player, but it's not like there was like a setup.
Oh, dude, he was on the minimap.
Sort of description. It came down to an isolated
Because of
duel,
the Harbor wall?
and it was YZ that came out on top of it. I don't know how YZ gets that kill. Like, this was a round of all time. And I'm hoping that we see something a little bit more clean into the next couple of rounds. Because obviously that was a weird buy from EDG, as you pointed out at the start of the round. We weren't really expecting too much to come out of it. And given what they had, it was an unbelievable.
How are we doing today? We're doing good today. How you doing?
So, you know, it does bode well for them going forward. And it's a good time now, of course, to take that time out. EDG are like, hang on a second. We come back on round 3 every single time. What has gone wrong here? So adaptations need to be made. I feel like Billy are playing a very dynamic game at the moment. A lot of, maybe not faking per se, but a lot of kind of poking and prodding, a little bit of defaulting, a little bit of finding information before actually committing to anything. And EDG are kind of struggling to deal with that at the moment. So I'd really like to see them maybe taking a bit more aggressive mid control, just so that
Think
you
K-Cop can win one map from Liquid? I mean, yeah.
Once Billy actually do,
Dude, they can still
decide
2-1
to commit to a site, because I think that you can really set up some good flanks if you.
K-Cop
you know,
with good
take the
time
space
is
to do so.
still scary.
EDG using their first timeout of the series so far. What can they do with it? And Kang's got the operator back in hand as well. YZ.
We go real fast on this one. Oh, this is nice though. Dude.
The push up from Tube from Neff as well. These two players here are going to be able to reconvene.
Wait, this is nice.
Up inside of the kitchen area.
On the one round where EDG decided to stack 4 over towards A, they did a fast mid default, so the Killjoy util was committed more towards B. Like, this was the most perfect call from Billy of what's going on. Harbor ult as well to isolate the A site. This is kind of sick. And as they go over searching for the 1 or 2 over towards middle, you Harbor ult overwhelm over towards A. Dude, this guy is not saving this AWP, surely. Yeah. Dude, this was 6 strat.
YZ has his number.
A nice round.
Doesn't work. Operator doesn't work. And EDG.
I like the big change up here after their timeout as well.
That really went like the opposite way that I was expecting. When I was talking about using mid to encircle, I wanted EDG to do that, not Billy.
Yeah, they pretty much called the most perfect thing.
That is one of the dangers of not having.
I wonder if this was like some kind of prep diff where the Harbor normally when they have Harbor ult they go over towards A, and they mixed it up by doing mid pressure first, because the 4-1 stack over towards A not going aggro with the op here is pretty bold.
That makes it even more shocking, because like,
holy dudes, what is going on? Okay, Prius took over for a round. We're everywhere.
EDG have found 3 picks. A brilliant double piece from Smoggy. His first kills in the game with the Sheriff. Kang's got the Blade Storm here. It's now a 2 versus 5 for Billy. Code being invested. This one certainly seemed like it was going to be, you know, just an eco. Who cares? But suddenly, EDG, they're back in with a fight. They're back in with a chance. Couple of picks back the other way. So 3 versus 2. It's winnable for either team here, Sam. What has gone wrong here for Billy?
Bit of overconfidence, it feels like. You know, oh, we've got an anti-eco now. We've got 5 rounds in a row. We can push.
Yeah, they
this
hear the
one, be a
flash.
little
They
bit
know that they
more
cleared
aggressive
here.
than
So
we
do
had
they
been.
like
And
wait
EDG
10
are like,
seconds and
"No,
then re-head over
actually,
towards
no,
B?
you can't."
Definitely what
Down
most
to a
callers
far
would be
more
tempted to do
close
after hearing the
affair.
flash.
This is still winnable for Billy.
Yeah, I like this
but
from
it's
EDG
gonna
though. They
take
keep
a
2 here. There's a chance
monumental
they don't know
effort. Now
Jenny's
they're brought to
close.
2 versus 2. They have control of the fight. Jenny, no, just as that wall is blooming, will shut Trisha down, and now K9
Okay,
doesn't have
nicely
control
done
of the
from
fight.
EDG. This call after doing the flash
Incredible
reclear to
jump
stick
spot
was
and
awesome
get
though.
the final knife in the coffin, I suppose. And EDG finally post up 1 round. And I feel a little bit silly because I was talking about not having a killjoy, but it must be said, a lot of that comes down to the fact that Chichu has just not been on the server, it feels like. I'm really not seeing what we need to be seeing from a killjoy, from a hard anchor.
So is that their original
hence
wall that they do?
entire performance for
It's,
Game, which is rough.
I'm not sure you can
Really
hit
is.
off that original wall.
Brutal. Absolutely
gotta, like, try
brutal,
wall
but
here.
EDG, well, they're finally on the board. I don't think Billy will be too phased by that though. But Kang does have another operator.
Yeah, that is their original wall.
Open up towards
Yeah, I don't know if they
A.
can enforce that original wall that they did on the
It's kinda
eco. I
like,
should just wait
towards
for
that side
another
of
one
the
that
map.
goes
Main
here.
force, really for both of these teams on the western side. in
Billy
towards
kind of
B,
messed up a little bit. They fought this too early.
and they're just chilling back, relaxing. Heading over towards the A site again, where the operator is waiting.
I like that Billy are going for this like slower take again, right? Like a little bit more of that poking and prodding. The problem is EDG are now going slow. So Billy don't really have the info that they've had previously. They don't really have these early fights that they can take super aggressively. Kang spots an elbow. So now he's aware of where at least one of these players are. Now the
Oh
exec can
my.
come through. Beautiful stretch.
Dude, and at the same time we
You
push through middle.
monster.
The great
What
molly.
a shot with a Blade Storm, and Neff with one through mid as well. BLG back to their winning ways, back to their killing
Dude,
ways.
can he get through back to the other side?
This round still as yet
Oh my
undecided, but
goodness,
Neff,
look at him go.
He wants it done. He wants that round win. Now Smoggy inside of the attack.
Oh!
What a shot! That
What
is
a
on
shot
Televian.
though, my
Only a momentary
goodness.
treat though, K-Knight.
What
Juan
was
and
that,
Jenny
bro?
got to save here, surely. Fall back. I don't know whether
It's still really nice
BLG are
from
gonna let that
Billy at the
happen.
moment though. They look
Find
really good in
another
this
one
map.
onto Neff, who's going
Dude,
hunting.
that shot was insane.
Could just dip away
I know
here,
it doesn't
try
really
to
mean much
detonate
in
over
terms of the
towards
round,
A.
but
I mean, Wisey's got nothing to lose here. He's just got the blades. And looking. I think they know. Either way, a brilliant round from Billy.
Yeah, they've just been a little bit unreasonable in a lot of these rounds. But again, so that recon dot bait was so good. I love when that kind of thing happens because it either forces Kang to have to back away from his position to throw the cloud burst onto it so that he can rescope back in, or to just kind of ego it, I suppose. He goes for the cloud burst, and while he's distracted, that's when YZ strikes. He's turned away, he can't hold down the sight line, and YZ can shut him down, delete him, take him off the board, and that site is basically
win
free.
one, lose
Yeah,
the
it is
next,
such
force
a
him down to
nasty way
eco.
crack it open, but it just further pushes the dominance that BLG are showing so far on this map.
Where was this Billy on Fracture? That's my question.
Real.
Again, the map that they pick,
Uh-oh.
it goes away from them, and yet here they are, 6-1 up on their opponent's map pick. You really feel like that.
He might have
Billy
started
just
running
keep
too
getting
early.
vetoes reversed every single time. Now here comes the Hunter's Fury. Oh, nobody. He's getting
I
caught
saw.
by this. Tagged up, killed. He's now dead over on that site. The only attacking player over on A, but Billy, are they overthinking this a little bit? Backing away. They have drawn the rotations over towards the site, though. Again, like you said, they're prodding and just poking, pulling EDG around the map, and they're being played like a fiddle.
Also noticing that Bilibili not going for that like overconfidence this time around. You throw out the Hunter's Fury and an anti-eco and a lot of people are going to go, really? But it gets value. And they don't want to, you know, take any chances when you're coming up against a team as good as EDG. So now, Spike's going to get planted. The question becomes, how expensive can EDG keep this?
They can maybe pick up a gun on site, but...
Dude,
look at him go.
This one, he's now wrapped around the backside. Smoggy falling, K9 as well. You say it might be... They want to keep it close. There's only one kill that's gone the way so far. Jenny have to come up massive.
Dude, it's nice for them at the
Massive
moment.
he
You
is not.
Sovo into this round
secures
3
at
on the
least
way
win
as
for
well.
half the BLG. 7 on the
Looking
board.
strong.
What is
Hello,
happening
Jasper.
with
Nice
Edward Gaming
timing,
right
dude.
now, Sam?
It really does feel like a bit of a BLG masterclass for a lot of this, and I think that again it comes down to pacing. So part of it is the fact that EDG aren't able to set the pace here in a way that they would want to do. I spoke about this a couple weeks ago when we were doing the Wolves, one of the Wolves games, but not having a Sova on certain
Double
maps
timeout
feels
already.
like
That's kind
a
of...
serious hamstring. Yes, you've
That's
got
pretty
Fenway,
early,
yes, he
but I
does
mean,
have a drone
go.
that can get a little bit of information, but I feel like the
sorry,
Sova
chat.
brings so much more to the composition, it brings so much more to the map, and not having that can really hobble you. You're not getting the same amount of information that you could have been getting. So I think that that's one of the places, particularly on this defensive side, you know, they're really struggling to get early round information in a way that they would normally be more able or more capable of doing. So that's a big part of that struggle. They're now being forced to either play hyper aggressive as they have been before, or very, very reactive. The hyper aggressive play didn't really seem to be working out for them. You know, the Bilibili were doing a really good job of shutting that down. As soon as they start getting aggressive, Bilibili play that slightly more passive style. They wait for them to push out. They hold these really solid you know, crossfires, and the moment EDG push into it, they kind of get deleted. So now they're forced to play a slightly more passive style on this defense, and unfortunately without that early information, they're really struggling to get the reads. And speaking of reads, Neff is calling a barn burner right now. Like, I am really impressed with how well he's been reading every round from EDG.
That's a spot on to Jenny as well, who playing the KO. You mentioned about the Sova and that early information. I feel like I haven't really been seeing many knives from Jenny, at least not notable ones. You think of players like Cracks in EMEA who are really known for absolutely dominating on the,
so much
on
space
the KO,
on this.
who gets
Full
so much
retake.
information.
They got
It's
so
just
many
not
ults,
happening
but
here
there
in
goes
this
one of the
game.
ults.
Jenny did
This is
find
nice. They
one,
realized
but
they
it's a
need to get a kill before this
response
Killjoy
from
goes in.
YZ.
Killjoy goes in. They now can't
here
combo
is
with the
the
Teo.
lockdown coming out from Chichu, finally being invested, reckoning from the other side, but the players still forced away. Billy, they have to sit back a little bit. That's a nice
This
flash
is
from
nice.
Jenny.
Flash for the
It
extra
leads to
area.
kill
This is
onto
where the
Russia,
Teo is going to
and
go.
now he can just try and stiff
Not a
this.
good-
Kankang's up close and
It's
personal
a
with
straight
them.
defuse, right?
Billy, they're just falling here, and the plant stick comes through.
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, Billy at least had a plan for the ults, but
in time.
let's try kill the Killjoy as well.
Another very, very spicy
That
round
flash
here.
swing for the little area where the
it's
Killjoy
becoming
ult doesn't get, that was cool.
Really, really tight, I feel like. You know, a lot of these rounds have been pretty close, despite the fact that most of them have been going a particular way.
Who's a
kind
good
of
friend
begs the
you've made in
question, like,
Valorant?
how much more
Probably
can get
Yampy, man.
done in
Yampy's,
this part?
I like
We're
Yampy a
getting
lot.
closer and closer to the end, and EDG, yes, they have managed to pick one up, but there's only 3 rounds left here. We could have a scoreline reminiscent of that previous map, but that is a good start. It's a good showing.
Dude, this
to
judge skin
start
is...
getting them on the right foot here. And you can even see with the amount of map control that they're starting to take early on here, they're realizing they can't just allow Billy to keep having their way with every single one of these rounds.
Yeah, not quite a replicable round either for EDG either. You know, the ultimate. Well, you're probably not.
Drone?
going to
Okay,
get
well the
lockdown
drone
back
saw
for the rest of
nobody.
this half, unless Chichu has
And now
a
it gets
couple of
really weird.
absolutely bonkers
Dude, Kankang
moments.
can really own this.
So, what other success
It's a
can you find?
great
Well, maybe
shot,
the
man.
opening
Fair
pick from
play.
Kankang. That could help. YZ falling as well, 12 and 5 so far.
No, my guy.
He's
Really?
been doing massive numbers, but Rusia takes down Kankang, who again is really the beacon on the other side. The Viper's Pit being
Oh, this is
invested, and
chaos.
Counter ult 2 coming out from Neff. So much of this Green smoke in the way. The decay will be taking damage out from these players as well. Smoggy doing the dance of death over on the ropes too. Trying to do anything he can.
Dude.
3v3 is a decay. Again,
Everyone's
he's
POV is
dealing
just
so much damage that the
pure.
shot
It's just
got
green.
big. A shorty as well. Now a 1v3. Nobody. Judge in hand. He's got
Dude, this
absolutely
this
zero
counter ult
chance.
from Neff was pretty cool.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking. And I understand why we dropped the Viper's Pit on the defensive side, but I feel like you just gotta lose in that scenario. There's very little that you can really do to work
Dude, Kang there
around
though,
that
that
to turn
was
that into a
a
winnable
shocker.
scenario, particularly because there is a counter Viper's Pit that can come up. So you're just gonna be walking in that trying to retake. You don't have a drone to clear it out, which is a huge problem just in and of itself.
Dude,
So you're relying
he's 15 to
on
4.
very little information to help you find your way
He gets
in.
a silver ult again in 1 round or 1 kill.
It's a tough round for them and a tough one to lose as well. We were talking about potential 10-2 half in the previous map. This is starting to look like it could be the case with Billy now in a bit of an anti-eco, and this opening kill could determine
What
everything,
the
and it will
hell?
be Wisey.
Bro has no help and he's
Kang
just
Kang,
out
the
here.
only one with a real weapon in this.
Oh, boy.
Jenny's got
Dude,
a
he has no
bulldog,
help. He's
but
actually just
Wisey
solo
doesn't
playing
care
on this
about
eco.
that. He just doesn't care at all. Waltzing into the site, finding a double.
Oh, he doesn't get
Vandal
punished
drops
there
for
is
EDG. Maybe
kinda
someone can
insane.
recover that weapon, but it's at the back of yellow, so you certainly doubt it. And Billy are not letting go of the site here. And they're also watching their flanks, watching their backs. Everything covered. Everything watched for. Maybe are EDG going to try and die to the spike? Well, why is he? Maybe he doesn't want that. He does find 3. That's taken down by Jenny, but that's
Crazy.
all he'll do in Neff.
Do you think NRG makes it to Toronto if they still had Werner? Nah, it's not like they were doing well with him there. Like,
And this is
there was
crazy
something
because-
internally wrong with the team.
So I
Sometimes,
spoke about the
sometimes you
plant
just gotta.
isolation or insulation from
If
the
it's like a
harbor,
big
that
thing
could
you'll
bring the
disagree
level
on,
to
you
the table
gotta
at
make
the
a
very
change.
least. I wasn't expecting it to be able to get this much value, to be honest. I mean, you've got 3 agents that can throw down some or another form of a Molotov.
I think
from
NRG will
EDG, and
do
they just
well
have
next
not
split.
been able to stall
I think they'll
plant
do better.
at all. And I think a lot of that
But
again comes down to trying to
I don't know
take
if they're,
these
like,
fights and not really
imploding
being
their
ready
team
for
or
those
not.
plants and
So we have to
putting
wait for that
themselves in a
also.
far more losable
But
scenario
this
because they're giving
a no
themselves-
Teo meta will suit them a lot better.
Wisey. This gives a little bit of a spot there to Jenny. Kang's only got a Guardian in this one as well, thanks to buying the Vandal in the previous round. So again, the economy not fantastic for EDG. They're kind of working with scraps a little bit, and it feels like, you know, Kang's always got that confidence, but unfortunately the buy a little bit misplaced in that.
Rock, yeah, they can lean to Sova more. It would be more of a traditional style.
Because losing this one, it
Depends
is
though.
that-
I feel
that
like double
10-2
sentinel
that
could
we were
work pretty
talking
well for
about.
them.
And unfortunately, it feels like
Like, I
that
think if
may
they
just
got
be the
a-
case
if they got
now.
double
A lockdown
sentinel
has come
down,
through from Billy. It's
it would be
given
so
over
nice
much
for
space,
them.
and they're back in to fight.
Control the pace the whole
So
time.
much is pulling all of those rotations, and instead Billy
Sure.
gonna head over
I mean,
towards the B
the
side,
fake's
but
okay
Billy's
here,
credit,
and
they
they
haven't
do
taken the bait.
have that extra layer of the vision block with the
Inside
wall,
mid, and
but
Jenny takes him down. Kang, the last player left standing over towards
not like they
B as
took
the
a
rest
lot
the
of
team's
space.
rotations come on in. He's not able to
Good
deny
grade,
the
Teo
plants.
ult. Push him out into the
Now here comes
open.
Harvey
Anything to
Utility
combo that
as
with?
well,
Oi, what
all
a
in their
flash.
faces. There's flash,
Teo
brilliant.
ult to push him out into the
He's only
open.
behind one. Hunter's Fury now
KO
coming
flash
pressing,
to
but it's all
enable the
K9.
swing. That
He's
was awesome.
1v3 now,
Dude.
and he's got so much to do, so much ground to make up. Jenny,
He's playing it well as well. Okay, they got 3 at the end. And the only rounds they really won were like ult rounds. Right, the Killjoy ult round, the Teo ult round, both of
Ooh,
them
that's
combining with the
certainly
flash to get him kills. Other than that,
A stay of execution, I suppose.
got a lot of
You know,
racked.
They've given themselves a lifeline into this next half, and what I love is that they.
I think these nerfs fully take Teo out of the meta. I think teams
in particular, feeling pretty good all things
teams are on some kind of drug if
Now
they
they
keep
get
playing
to
Teo.
have their own attacking half, and what concerns me is it
Like,
feels
it's-
like they had
It's a huge
the
nerf.
perfect
It becomes the worst
combination
agent in the
to
game.
deal with the attack that Billy brought. And now as they move on to the attacking side, yes, they do have tons of util to create space, to flush people off of angles, to, you know, create the openings that they want, but it's not as explosive as it could be, and I think that that's where they might just struggle a little bit. That being said, obviously, Bilibili have less slowing power than EDG had. So this might be a place where
He
Bilibili
needed it, but
really
they
start to
obliterated the
struggle a little
man.
bit, find
No,
themselves on that
they
back
really
foot,
went in,
and
dude.
they're gonna have to deal with EDG's
really
pace now,
went
because
in.
when you're on the defensive side,
The
it's
big
a little
no.
bit more difficult to dictate pace. When you're on the attacking side, it's in your hands. Like, pacing is a huge part of what you're doing as the attackers. But a big problem that we saw in that first half was it felt like the util usage from EDG was just not where it needed to be. And I'm hoping that that picks up a little bit, because you can't just rely solely on your individual fragging power on each individual player. You need to be using that utility to find those openings and to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is
Worse than Clove? Way
This
worse
is
than
a
Clove. Worst agent in the game.
precarious moment. Very, very precarious moment.
The
for
only thing that buffed
EDG.
is in afterplant, because you can
And,
do
you
one
know,
then
I
one.
mean,
Yeah,
hey.
but at the same time,
Billy, that is 4
you're
rounds
so
away
far away
from winning their 4th ever
that
map
you can pretty
against-
much always get
against
half,
Edward
because
Gaming,
it's
right?
like
That's the-
damage.
that's
damage,
the broader
damage.
picture, but
Like, you're always
again,
going to be able
then
to tank
if we
one,
head
getting it
to,
half while it flows
the
through the
decider
air.
of
So
Pearl, at that
even though
point,
it's good in the
kinda feels
afterplant,
like
still not.
anyone's
It's
game.
still not
and
good in the afterplant. If
I
that
mean,
makes
even
sense.
to be honest,
You have
in
to
this
be
one,
like
I felt like
close.
EDG had the advantage on Icebox, so
It's just a
there's certainly
just turns
a
into a
chance
bad
that
agent. That's it.
we do head to that map 3 that Billy could exercise their former demons. We'll have to
3
wait
and
see
0
in
at the moment for
path
pistols.
back for EDG, if they are to win here 2-0, starts with this pistol round. Izzy, he's getting cheeky with it. Chichu finds him, but can only get the one.
A lot of early damage done here. But they've already taken control of the site. Like, you've got this anime battle happening out and towards the spawn. Meanwhile, EDG have already planted the spike and brought it to a 3 versus 3 here. The last remaining vestiges of BLG's defense are here on the site, ready and waiting. Flash straight through.
Pistol?
Double
Oi,
makes it a
nice
third and a
shots.
fourth on the round.
Pistol.
A
Okay, let's see him
ridiculous
run it
clutch
back.
from the star player.
Yep, he's Kang. That's what we know and love.
What's my
But
opinion on
it's just
Vitality's
fourth
current
round in the
situation?
map.
Maybe they just need someone to take control of that
This
team.
This is the dangerous part, right?
They
There's
just
still
need
so much
whoever's
more
making
that
a
they
lot of
have
the
to do. Yeah,
decisions. They
sure.
need to tell them
It's a good
to
start. It
not
brings
make the
Kang back to
decisions,
being
and that
positive in the
they're
KD.
making all the decisions now,
But,
because
I mean, look at the
They
rest
have
of the team.
no
Apart from
control.
Jenny, Chichu's 4 and
the
13,
team just looks
Smoggy's
like
4 and 11. Nobody
a
is
bunch
3 and
of
11.
really skilled players just doing what they
It
want
can't just be Kang
and no actual
Jenny
idea of what to do.
waking up. The rest of the squad have to find it as well, because BLG are a more rounded package right now.
That was EDG's first pistol as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, baby steps, working our way
That's true.
towards a more winnable scenario. They come into this with a fairly decent buy as well. And the stack is over towards the A site here, so this round should be somewhat of a foregone conclusion. I don't think there's too much that Bilibili are going to be able to do in this one. I don't even know if they go for too much here. Like,
In the
sure,
standard
you wanna
column,
keep it
Ascent will be back.
expensive, but
Some teams
do
will
you
fall
wanna
into
give up
that.
a
I
free
still
ult
think
balls?
Double
There's actually
Sentinel's
every
pretty
possibility
strong.
that they just, you know, die to the
Like,
spike.
is it the C9 comp? They
That's
pretty
the
much
smart
use
play, I
Double
feel like.
Sentinel with the
They did
Sova.
invest
Teams
into
might just
Sheriff,
use that
though,
or something.
so there's a world in which they don't just do that and try and keep some of their guns.
You'll
Kang
at least see a
is
lot of Vice. Vice is
looking
insane on that map.
aggressive, though, Snowman. Oh, Naf just gets absolutely deleted.
It's might just
Um,
clean them all up here.
And yeah, they're trying to
Probably.
find this. Okay, Kang
Well.
falls. That's a kill for Levius.
Okay, it's getting a little bit costly.
Lockdown as K-Knight finds another. So there's decent ult orbs actually being given over towards these BLG players, and 2 deaths for EDG is certainly more dangerous than they would have. YZ, it's a little bit risky. I feel like a little bit ambitious to try and find the kill at that range, but you know, what can you do at that point? It's 3 players left alive for EDG. That's kind of the minimum that you'd want in that sort of anti-eco position. And now we head to the bonus. 9-5 the score.
He said it's kind of the minimum that EDG would want, but I feel like for Bilibili, that's like one of the best case scenarios. Not best, obviously. Like if you could go for a full E-code, well then.
Okay, one
fantastic.
takes the hit, it looks
But
like. Even though honestly could get a okay gun
one of your
behind
best
it.
case scenarios
Gonna
is
have a
2
lot of
kills
money
and
on
that
this
little
one.
bit of damage. Now they come into this
4-1 with
guns.
the...
There
Oh my
isn't a
goodness,
big
so laggy.
reinvesture from
4-1
EDG.
with the
They just
4 being
revive
over towards
one of
B.
those guns. Oh, Kang. What would Valorant be without a little bit of cheeky smoke spray that gets way too much value?
He had 3
That's
people to
not a
try
great
hit through
start for round
smokes.
for Billy.
No, it's really not. And then the fear starts to set in at the back of my mind, and possibly the start of Billy's minds as well. That maybe what we saw in the first half, EDG could do back to them. Levius, the lone stander here on A, trying to push back the horde that we see approaching. Nano swarms popped as players start to come back in. Oh, he finds the first and second.
Bro, how's he allowed to kill 2 there? How's this guy allowed to kill 1 and get out as well?
Now a 2 versus 3.
What the hell?
EDG at that
Rough
disadvantage.
Jules.
Jenny can't quite plant the spike just yet. The
Yeah, you
utility
would imagine
to
that
stall and deny and
YZ's
take
locked
some
him
more
in, right?
damage away. YZ, he's pushing from behind. Coming up the backside. Being potentially spotted. Might be aware of this, but doesn't matter if they're
Oh,
aware.
nice shot.
He
That
likes
second
the
shot's
kills
really nice.
anyway.
This is the util usage that I wanted to see from EDG. This has been fantastic from Billy. And again, that Sova really coming in clutch in those final moments. I'm gonna be singing this song for as long as is necessary. Sova so goated on this map. And Billy kind of doing, you know, they had a moment of anything you can do, we can do too. Because for 3 maps on the first map, they get 2 pistol rounds, 2 conversions, and instantly it gets pulled away from them. Okay, in the first half of this one, they managed to do a bit of a runaway. But EDG, second half, pistol and conversion, and round 3, Billy say nope. They pull things back into their control. Double digits now. EDG, where do you go from here? Bladestorm out to complement those
So I'm
rifles.
pretty
Can
sure
Kang get
this is
value?
the swing rounds.
That's going to be the question.
Can't see
A little
everyone's
bit of a
money, but there's so much
drive-by
damage
there.
in the rounds that
Spot
it
onto
should be.
one, but the harbor wall way is
Kang was tempted to go up, and I'm going to show him. Dude,
Nobody
can't believe they forced
taking
that.
down the player, and Kang he's not going to have many of these knives
No
left.
way.
Nobody though, he doesn't care about that. He's pushing forward and finding a double. Now a 4 versus 3. Edward Gaming in the advantage, in the ascendancy here. Shock darts go out, and now a fragment in
Great
response.
chance.
Kang, he's got a rifle, and Neff is left 1v4. Turns it into a 1v3, fairly sharpish. Jenny shuts it down.
Jenny-
No clutch, no opportunity. EDG back on the board.
Did Jenny come from
There's
ranked,
the
right?
aggression that we were waiting
Jenny
for.
does
As
so many
soon
plays
as
that should get
Billy
punished.
Get 1 round in this half. EDG answer back.
Like he does so many rounds where it's like
and shut it down.
next
And,
kill's
you know,
pretty
Bladestorm
important,
didn't
or
really
like
get too
next
much
kill
done,
might
but
give
I
him
feel
a
like
way
there's
in, and then
moment
he
of, okay, this
gives them
Bladestorm,
he
we
gives
need
them
to
the
be a
jewel.
bit careful, and they give a lot of respect and
Came
a
from their
lot of
academy.
space, and we saw a lot of that util coming through as well. A lot of stuff that like slows down plants and slows down some of that momentum, but it's not quite enough, and you've got so many potential places for that plant to come through. It doesn't always land where it needs to land, so
As the
it's done
duelist
very, very
mindset,
well,
yeah, I
but
think that's the
unfortunately,
nice way of
like,
saying it.
that's fine. Tap the spike, pull out your util, and then
Played-
when we
he
feel
played a
like
lot
we've
of
flushed out
duelists,
enough of
okay,
that
then
util, we
yeah.
can actually go for the plant.
It's
and
hard
it can
to
take that space, and it helps
take
that
out of
nobody
people.
just goes absolutely nuclear, and of course gets one of those random sprays through the smoke screen. We do love to see that, but it does make things a bit more difficult for Billy. And as you said, right, Billy looking at this like, oh, hang on, maybe they're gonna do to us what we did to them. Maybe this is where they're gonna step up and kind of put us back in the position that we just really don't want to be in.
Yeah, it makes sense then that they use the timeout, pump the brakes, stop the momentum from building for EDG, and come into maybe not this round.
Your opinion
but the
on
round
Loud?
afterwards with a plan.
I mean, I think
Obviously
the
here,
loud change has
there's a
been
half
pretty
buy,
good.
weaker
I
weaponry
would have kept
available
DGs in
for
though.
side
That's the
BLG.
rumors, right? That they're getting rid of him.
I'd be surprised if they do keep the Guardian in.
I didn't
this
mind
one. It
Pancarda's
looks
calling
like
that
they
much
are
from what I was
okay.
watching.
Interesting. So even next round, no matter what happens, unless they can pick up a bunch of rifles and save them into the next, it's looking a little bit rough.
But he's nice. Yeah,
well, if
maybe
the
they
Guardian
didn't
works,
want
then
to
it
play
works,
around
and
getting
Jenny
him an
have
op,
been able
like
to find
DG's
a
in an
kill,
op.
and the Outlaw doesn't land on us.
Luke Show's pretty insane.
Jenny didn't find a kill. Jenny died. It was YZ that found the kill. He's able to dip away with his life as well.
The Robbie BK thing's interesting.
Billy can certainly keep this expensive. They do still have decent weaponry on board here, and that Guardian can be devastating.
Oh.
But Chichu, waiting for that aggressive peak to come
Dude,
through.
it's
and
so funny
all of
watching
Billy
people
Billy's
like
plans for
who
this
aren't
round
expecting
fall to the
players in
wayside.
certain areas.
Yeah, the
They're just the
three-man push
easiest
down
kills when they
middle
walk peek into this.
leaves 2 of them
I
dead.
get kind of close after this.
Now
Next buy
Kang
round's
is
like
watching the
really
flank with
important.
this outlaw. He's not really going to stand a chance there. Levius, well, 2 HP, 2 players left to fight against, and the Guardian. It certainly doesn't seem the most possible thing in the world. Kang and nobody there, just falling back. And well, we know what Kang is like, especially with a sniper rifle in his hands. You get the feeling that one is going to go the way of EDG. Levius just save a Vandal here. That's what I would do in the situation, indeed. Tips away. Now only 3-round deficit for EDG. But realistically, this round is not the one that the timeout was for. Right, Sam?
Yeah, no.
It's the next one where they're going to be able to buy up a little bit better. But again, the Guardian investment... I mean,
Yeah, it was a
looking
bit of a
rough.
Hail Mary.
Watch the
play
APAC games
just to
tomorrow,
see
of
if
course.
You can try and get some damage done,
Yeoman,
and
yeah, we spoke about
unfortunately,
Yeoman a little bit
they
for
didn't
G.
really get
Dude,
the
I
value
honestly,
that
I
they
don't really
wanted
care
out
about the
of it, and that
GE
it
changes
is a bit
until
rough, but you've gotta
they
think
get
that
another
they
coach.
have the money
They're just gonna get wrecked with one coach.
still be okay. In
Doesn't matter.
despite that. And that's part of what that timeout was.
There,
right? Like,
there
talking
aren't
about,
players
okay,
good
we can-
enough
we
for
can
you
put a
to
little bit of
get
spend into this,
that
'cause
aren't
look at
gonna
this, they still
warrant
come
having
through,
one
they still have
coach at the
offer in
moment.
hand, so it wasn't like the most egregious thing in the world. This is still very much
Especially with how
doable
they were playing some of these
if they
maps.
can turn
Like, they're
things
done
back
for.
around in their favor. Ooh, why is he? Looks like he missed the jump there. That's okay. Not the end of the world. Still has a chance.
He dodges the knife there as well, but dash expires. Tailwind no longer available. He's sticking around with that operator. I don't know if I really like that move. It means now that that gun is surrendered in the middle, and he wasn't able to get traded. BLG now find themselves without much in
Yeah,
this
all
round.
to
Tiana
clear
getting
all of the
forces away
site.
from the site as well.
Flash in case anyone's close. Plant goes in. Dude, Harbor 4v5.
Reckoning in response as they try to go back in. Levius does find one, and
Oh,
the
it's gonna
second
get
there,
real
K-Knight
weird.
is the one to
They got no
actually
code for
deliver
this.
the final blow onto Jenny. The ultimate
Well, they
still
definitely have no
ticking away
code now.
So far, no command. Neff though, answering back. So a 3 versus 3. As long as Jenny stays alive, they're waiting for the timer to expire. Smoggy, he's really got a clutch up here. There's the first, spraying onto the
nice
second,
shot.
but it's not quite enough.
Dude,
and
K-Knight's having an
BLG
absolute game right now. They
restore
pick up the
4-round
AWP as well.
lead.
4v5
Now just 2 rounds away
retake.
from taking us to
Pretty
pearl.
good.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking.
only got
'cause
the
I felt
KO
like
once he
EDG,
planted,
they
right?
came into that with a plan. You can see like some of that util being used to create that little bit of space. But I mean, BLG play perfectly. They know that those ultimates are online and available. They play off-site, they wait for it to come through, and then they flood with a little bit of utility of their own, and they completely shut down any attempt at a post plant here. I mean, it was beautifully executed, and I don't know, BLG, they're
So-
looking really good on
so
Icebox
overall for
far.
this
Like,
one
the
as
stats
well.
that they're coming through with, their util usage is
Dude, this is the round.
fantastic. And EDG,
This is the
again,
round
much
right
like the
here.
first half, it feels like where they're
And
suffering is on
Backup
that
gun
util.
for the knives.
Yeah.
And we go for that 4-passing aggro again.
No
Knife
need
goes in,
invested
doesn't
beyond
hit
getting to
Wizzy.
that one. The retake too
Sova ult while
strong.
they're dodging the
There's
Sova
a
ult. You have everyone
Hunter
facing.
Fury
Oh
into
boy,
the
this was sick though.
Going.
Fair play.
4
Damn, they
kills,
actually fell into it.
and the round
They
win
fell
for
into the trap.
BLG, just like
That was a nice one.
Wisey doing Wisey things, man. I mean, this is why they were highlighted at the start of this.
Yeah, it looked like they
particular
thought about their
map, right?
default
Wisey
as well.
and
Knife hits the Viper.
Absolutely unreal players to have on a
Nice
team.
shots, dude.
Oh, they're
The
hyped up
excitement
from
is
that.
real.
I needed a second to see that again.
Okay,
Like, it
five
happened so damn
chances.
quickly.
Yeah.
EDG
And it's
will be
map
reeling
point
as well.
now.
Yeah. 5 in a row. Hey, we've seen 12-7
Dude,
before.
it's such a nice idea though. Like
on
Sova
Fracture,
ult,
but it wasn't this way round.
you have to pretty much have your knife out to
EDG
dodge good
now need 5
players
in a
with
row
it.
to take us to
And then
that
obviously if
overtime.
you get injured at the
Kang
same
has
time,
an
you die
operator
either
here,
way.
Sam.
See if that operator has an opportunity to get some value. He's kind of struggled a little
Okay.
bit. No shot.
Well, they
just
won the
knew
last
he
round
would
that
be
this happened
behind
though.
that box. It's such a good way to open this up, and that's why
Killjoy
he
committed,
actually
so they
moved
were-
forward immediately spray, followed up by that op, getting the value that we were waiting for. And this entire site is cracked open by EDG. Billy, no response. And Neff forced to just back away. Maybe catch a stray on the exit. But realistically, that round was over before it even began. Just the perfect prediction to know YZ's probably behind that box. For those bullets to hit in just the perfect position and denies them any time to lay down that slow.
Let's ride the fort Alex. We ain't getting anything for a while. Let's look at their money.
Yeah, Kankan's used
1-9
the
loss
blade
bonus
swap here as well,
on top
so
of this.
that's an ultimate not into the next.
Indefinitely
but like
buy.
you said, they just carve the site open, winning all their gunfights. That's the EDG way, it seems like. Neff is going to be able to keep this Vandal into the next. Kankang's going hunting, but won't get there in time. So, now 12-8. We've seen this position before as well, and it was the final one that won the map for EDG over on Fracture. 4 in a row required. I am slightly worried that we might see a repeat of the previous series where Wolves were up 12-8 on Lotus against Shilai Gaming, and they ended up losing it 14-12. Billy, please don't do the same to me because that was a heartbreaking
Okay, force them down to an
watch.
eco if they win this.
I mean,
Killjoy ult, Viper
there's a
ult.
world, right? There's the possibility that this could go all the way into
Bit of
that
a change up from
overtime,
Billy.
and
We've got
that
Jet
win
pushing
gets
close over towards
snatched
B as we
away
can see
from
that's going to
them.
work.
The
Oh, dude, this
advantage
might
does
fully
come
work.
to
This turret's
fruition
not
yet
going to
again.
watch them if they
EDG,
actually push
knowing
behind.
that they don't have much to hold the plant
Okay,
on
so
B,
we got
just
pushed
gonna keep
behind with the
hitting
Killjoy ult.
over and over again. And they're
Nice
just
kill.
faster than the util again.
The
Killjoy for
counter ult, though,
Killjoy
coming
ult.
in
Don't know if
from
they
the
had to break
outside
this
from
turret though. They
Chichu.
let them know that they're behind now.
So, retake coming on through. Cascade being utilized, and Rushia catches out Smoggy behind.
Oh
There's
boy,
another
there we
front
go.
that they have to
Dude,
be
3
wary
person
of,
swing
and
all
Russia's
together.
won 3 kills. Chichu left. 1v4. This one seems impossible. This one seems done. Pearl is waiting
Wow.
for us, and it's Rushia.
It felt like really
defenders there.
convincing for
Gets the defuse,
the
and
opposite
Billy
team's map
Gaming,
pick.
their fourth ever
Right,
map
Billy
against
kind of
EDG,
clean,
but it
easy-ish
takes us
on
to
this
the
one.
decider here.
EDG's map pick.
Pearl will decide which team is going to Masters Toronto and which